But here's the thing that I was teasing earlier in the day. There is a lovely student here. Gabby, come up, please. Gabby is a graduate of Pepperdine University, as is her friend Kendall Howell. And you may remember that Kendall was here, complete with a camera, last time we met, I should say, which was February 3rd. And the assignment was, grab the mic for a second. What was the class and what was the assignment?
Both of us studied media production at Pepperdine, and so one of our final classes for our degree was documentary filmmaking. And neither of us had taken a documentary class before, but we had done narrative film, so with a script that's written and then you make the story out of that. But we were challenged to take a real existing topic and just do it journalistically, actually doing the interviews and getting B-roll and all of that stuff to put together a short documentary.
And the subject was the News Geezers. So that's why Kendall was here with a camera last time. She and Gabby came out and interviewed Joel and myself separately and put together what turned out to be a 12-minute piece. Now, I'm not going to show you all 12 minutes. I'm going to show you 5 minutes and 2 seconds of it because I cut it down. And not to take away from what they'd done, I'll be perfectly blunt with you why I cut it down. There was a fair bit of material in there about Joel and myself. Just a wonderful story. I loved what the people that were on the tape said about me and what they said about Joel. But you know what? This was a lunch about Michael Conley, and it wasn't about us. And that was one of the reasons I wanted to take the two of our participations down to the minimum.
Me and Kendall had such a great time putting this all together. I know she really enjoyed herself last time she was here, and she got to talk to a few of you. It was so great going through the footage and hearing your stories and just how important News Geezers is to you guys. We have tons and tons and tons of footage still, and we just had such a great time putting it all together. And hopefully you think that it encompasses what these meetings mean to you, and share them with your friends and family and show them what News Geezers means to you guys. Thanks.
I retired from Fox 11 here in Los Angeles in 2010. I drove up the driveway on the last day, and I thought, I'm not going to miss this place at all, but I'm going to miss all of the people. Welcome to video highlights of the News Geezers lunch at Victorio's in North Hollywood. I'm Bob Tarlow. This is one of our regular quarterly lunches. As you can see here, we get anywhere from 60 to maybe 90 people come to one of our quarterly luncheons, which we do in February, May, August, and November. And we try to have a program every time. And it's about keeping friendships kindled, starting new friendships, and basically expressing our love of the business.
The list keeps growing longer, and people are retiring, and when they retire, they still want to see their friends, and this is a nice place to do it.
Yeah, I was kind of one of the early ones. When I started with News Geezers, there were only about 15 or 16 people showing up. So that's going back about 5 or 6 years.
It's a great profession. It's wonderful. There is no such thing as fake news.
I come here because, you know what, I love to feel young. Most of the time I feel old, but then I come here, I feel young.
Typical structure is a couple of us will get there about 10 in the morning, start setting up everything, and then people will start trickling in closer to 11. That's when Bob first comes on and says, there's food ready, go eat it.
Excuse me, are you a geezer?
Not I.
Really?
Not I. Ladies and gentlemen, the man who started the Geezers, Bob Tarlow.
Oh my goodness. We're not really geezers.
No, we're not.
The News Geezer name, Geezer probably being the most controversial part of News Geezers.
I don't like the name Geezer, but there was nothing else. I mean, I would have called us Newsheimers.
And no, I don't like the name. I thought it was ridiculous from the word go. We're not geezers, we're newsies.
So we had a vote. I said, okay, we'll do it democratically. I'll call for nominations. So, I mean, the funniest nominations came up. And we had a vote, and News Geezers won by like 99% to all the others. Everybody wanted to stick with it. The guy, Bob Long, who came up with the name, had a totally warped sense of personality. An absolutely wonderful guy. We never worked together. I knew him really well, but we never worked together. He was funny as hell. Died a couple years ago, very sadly. Because it came from Bob, I would never change it. And I understand the sensibilities. It's meant to be funny. I hope people don't take it the wrong way. What's the definition of a geezer?
An old fart.
She can't use that.
Yeah, of course she can.
I think the fact that they all know each other and that they've all grown up in the same field and have all in different locations but still know each other and still come together, I think that's inspirational. And yes, it does help me in a way to see, okay, if I'm in contact with you right now and you're my age and we're both in the same field, we're going to be able to help each other because in 50 years, we'll still be in contact. And I'll know someone for you if you need help, or you'll know someone for me. And I think that's what the most important thing that they taught me is that keep the connections because you never know one day who will be able to help you.
A lot of careers define you and your life, but I think news is just one of those extreme ones. It takes a special person to want to do it, to be attracted to it, to stick with it. It's like the people that do it long term are a special breed for sure. And what they've lived through in the close quarters and the relationships that they've experienced, it's definitely for life, yeah. It's a badge of honor that I think they wear, and yeah, they're a tight-knit group.
News Geezers forever, and that's your out cue. Let's give Gabby and in her absence, Kendall Howell, a big round of applause.
What grade did you get?
A+.
Did you really? Oh, I've been wondering that. Hi, Mike.
Would Gabby, given the diversity and breadth of experience in this room, would Gabby like to ask us questions, either by craft or by experience or by age?
Oh, what a great, if we have a couple minutes, you guys don't, that's an excellent idea. Marissa, are you here? Come up. You can take my spot here.
Such as, what is a role?
Take questions.
Yes. Okay. Go first. I think one of the coolest things that I got to learn while learning a lot about this program and putting together our piece is just everyone's stories are so deep. In telling other people's stories, in being journalists, you have come up with all of these stories for yourself in the jobs that you've done and the relations that you have with each other. And it was just so wonderful to see how excited you are to tell those stories to us who are hoping to get into the jobs where we can experience a lot of that. So thank you again for sharing with us. I think what I most want to know from you all who have been in the business for a long time is, where do you think it's going? What can we expect? We're learning a lot about the newest technologies and things in the classrooms, and we're really trying to get ahead of that, but it's important to know the context and where we're coming from in the news organization. So if anyone has any advice or just predictions of what we can learn in broadcast journalism, print, doing interviews, telling stories, it's all the same.
Marissa, what would you ask?
Again, I'm kind of really starting out on my journey here, and I know where I'm going sort of, but did anyone end up in a job that they really loved, that they really maybe didn't know existed or didn't necessarily see themselves in when they first, yeah.
I was lucky enough to be where I had lots of opportunities to change skill sets. Follow your curiosity. If you're interested in what the person next to you or across the room is doing and how he or she does it, see if you can follow it up. See if your environment will let you follow that up to become one thing and another and another. And I just finished 53 years and half a dozen different skill sets, but it was because I happened to be in the business that let me go elsewhere in the business, that let me go in and out of the business. So there's a huge, broad diversity of experience that journalism will offer you. Technical, operational, editorial, that if you look and seek those opportunities, you can develop skill sets that will keep the next half century from being one unending, boring, writing leads and tags, car chases. That would be what following your curiosity.
Yeah.
I would just add that you don't be shy about reaching out to somebody in the newsroom in your field or elsewhere and asking if you can buy them a cup of coffee. They'll come cheap, I promise them, to see you. But seriously, don't have phones because you're a student or you're too young to simply say, can I buy a cup of coffee? Could you talk to me for a minute? And it's surprising how many people would love that.
Thanks. I'm so grateful to be here today. Thanks to Bill and Bob for inviting me. Yeah.
I want to add something to what they had to say. The storytelling part is important, and it can be done in so many ways, not necessarily in this business, because stories are going to change in this business. And I want to add that what you will probably end up doing, that job doesn't exist yet. So you're going to have to really think and watch and look where things are going and kind of anticipate what's over the horizon, what's around the corner. But as long as you keep the storytelling part, your experience and your expertise, you'll always be successful in this job and going forward.
Gabby, a question for you.
Sure.
Because you've just graduated. Tell them what you're going on to now.
I have been recently accepted to USC Annenberg for their graduate school program for journalism. That's a one-year program, and then you can get your master's degree in journalism right here in LA. And I think that would be a great opportunity for me to tell more stories and get more experience there.
Do you see working professionally in the news business and then maybe using the master's degree to go on to teaching?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Of following one of your professors?
Yes.
we're talking about Teresa De Los Santos, who's a good personal friend of myself and a colleague of Joel and Bill Dawson. And Teresa and I worked together at Fox 11, and one day she called me aside and said, "So I have to tell you, I'm going to the dark side." And I said, "Well, I kind of figured that." And she completed her master's degree at Pepperdine, where she got her undergraduate degree, and then went on to UC Santa Barbara and got her PhD, and is now a journalism professor at Pepperdine. I'm very, very proud of her. She's a very, very effective professor. So that's what we talked about. Any other thoughts or questions? Yeah, this is wonderful. And Mike, thank you for suggesting this. Mike, thank you for suggesting this. Wonderful.
I was a technician photographer,
Susan?
editor in the business. And I would just say to you, don't be afraid to take a job that's outside of your field. I was a guard at KGO in San Francisco. And every time they came in, I'd say, I'm a camerawoman too. I'm a camerawoman too. And then they gave me a job as a freelancer, but you get to know people and you get in. And that's 90% of it, I think.
Dr. Argulian, you got a question?
An anesthesiologist overlaid a tube during surgery and took away a lot of my voice. I am the accident in the room. I went to medical school, and stumble accidentally into journalism, into medical reporting. And I think the right question to be asking is not where is journalism going, because it's going to hell and to heaven at the same time. It's going everywhere. Where are you going with this? And I would submit to you that if you want to be looking back 50 years later on a fulfilling life, be authentic, stick to facts, do work that has meaning and significance, not just to yourself, but to others. And that will take you on the right path.
You're here.
In other words, don't work for TMZ.
Don Ray.
Yeah, I think the biggest difference between now and the past is in the past we need people's permission to be journalists, to be in television, and do that stuff. Today you need nobody's permission whatsoever. You can go off and be a journalist without being sworn in. You can go out there and find stories. You can produce them. You can put them up and start creating stuff without waiting for some pipe smoker to say, "Oh, okay, I think that's okay."
You know, we just heard from two news directors in John and Jeff, and impromptu, I wonder if I could call on Jim Hattendorf, been producer extraordinaire, news director around the country. What would be your advice to them, just starting out?
Have you, are you doing internships? You're still not.
I'm trying.
Freshman.
Yes.
Yeah, I've mentored with Bob. He dragged me up to Cal State Northridge, and most of the time that's what we spent telling the folks is to get an internship if you're going up in the ranks, because you'll go to an actual newsroom and you'll find out if that's really what you like or not. I mean, you may hate it and then decide, boy, that's not for me, I'm going to be an accountant or something like that. But getting an internship at any kind of facility, a newspaper, radio, TV or whatever, you're going to get experience with journalists and with professionals, and you're going to either catch the bug and know that's what you want to do, or you'll find out an individual job that you know really find interesting. I never wanted to be an anchor. I went to work in San Antonio the first day as to be a producer, and they said, "Oh, go out and be a reporter." Well, I went back to the boss and said, "That's horrible. I don't like doing that. I know how to run behind the camera. Let me do that." And the guy that just hired as a radio reporter put him on the air. So you get to experience that as an internship. I think that's a really important thing for new people coming.
Thanks, Jim. This is a wonderful thing. Mike, again, thanks for suggesting it. Never would have come up with it myself, but to have students up here and have the rest of you out there, it's a great opportunity. Everybody's being patient, and I thank you. Anybody else who's been in the business? I mean, you're talking about, both of you are talking about broadcast as opposed to print, I presume, right? I'll just tell you the two things that people would ask me what I love the most about the business, and they were very clear to me. Number one, above all, was the people that you met in the field. Because no matter their circumstance in life, they all had a story to tell. And very often it was a really good story that other people probably didn't know. And number two, and this plays off what John just said, was the writing. I still work on radio every day, and the writing is the number one thing for me. I just enjoy it much more than being on the air, which to me is secondary. The writing and the prep and the producing is what I still enjoy the most. Any other questions, any other thoughts? Kind of a unique opportunity we hadn't planned on, but this is very nice.
Yeah, thank you so much. I think any amount of advice is definitely inspiring just to be here, looking towards our future.
Hello, fellow geezers. As most of you know, I was Stan Chambers' cameraman for close to 13 years. So I either had the chance to work with, get mentored by, or at least stand next to most of you out in the field. So thank you for everything you've taught me over the years. A few years ago, after attending Stan Chambers' funeral, and I found that the only time I got to see all of my really close friends from KTLA was at Stan's funeral. And I had a discussion, I think it was actually with Tony Valdez. And I said, this has got to stop. I can't keep seeing people that I care about and miss only at funerals. So 3 years ago, I did a quick little party for the KTLA family, little KTLA reunion out at the Calabasas Sagebrush Cantina, and invited all of my KTLA family. Well, it went really well. We had about 200 people there. And over the past couple of years, I've been repeatedly asked to do it again. So I am doing it again, but I decided that this time I wanted to open it up to the other two stations I worked at KTTV and KCOP. But seeming that all you geezers have been a part of my journey as well, I'd like to invite all of you. So we are having a party on August 25th, this is Saturday, out at the Sagebrush Cantina. You are all invited to come out and attend. The link is on Facebook, and I'll give all the info to Bob. And I'd love to see all of you there and come out and see all your friends, all of my friends, and let's have a party, okay? That's it. Thank you. Oh, and I'll tell you one other quick little thing. Every person that you ask to give you advice in a newsroom, they will always readily give it. So there's nobody that you can't go and get mentored by. They all love telling you about how to do their job.
The party is the 25th of August, right?
Correct.
And we're having a lunch here on the 11th. So John, come back and we'll promote it again then, okay? Linda Deutsch.
Hello, all. I would like to thank Bob Tarlow for starting this group, and I have been one of the most fierce opponents of the name, as you probably all know. I even did a campaign on Facebook against the name. But I have given in, and I've decided to accept it as a joke. But I was sitting here thinking that there really is no other group that I know of like this. There are no other professions that seem to get together like this. I don't know of any Dr. Geezers or lawyer geezers or even, plumber geezers. No profession can get together like this. And I think part of it is, I do wish that there were more print people, because I was print, and I wish more print people would come. But I think the key to all of this is that, in a way, we were all historians. We were all covering the history of our world and our country. And we share that together because it was almost like all of us being war correspondents. Some of us even were. But it was being in the trenches together. And we share such an amazing history. And I think that it was inspired that Bob came up with this. And I know it's a lot of work to put it together. And I just want to say we appreciate it.
Thank you. For Gabby and Marissa, you should know that Linda is a legend. She is a recently retired Associated Press legal correspondent, the best in the business by far. Has covered every case that you've ever heard of, going back as far as you can remember and well beyond that, and all done brilliantly. I was once up covering Michael Jackson in Santa Maria. Linda comes past me and she says, "Bob, I'm on the 29th lead." Remember that? Thank you all. Thanks for being here. God bless you all. Drive carefully. We'll see you on the 11th of August. I'll update the website as soon as I can. When Dan's book becomes available on Amazon, which will be soon, I'll put the link up there as well. Don't forget, next Saturday is the memorial and celebration of the life of Michael Connelly. Forest Lawn first at 9:30. The Thai restaurant on the Boulevard at 11:30. All the information is on the front page of newsgeezers.com. Thank you all. Last thing I have to say is Happy Mother's Day.